Hello, bonjour, good evening, good evening. Lampy Lamp Devil here, tweaking with the volume levels and a whole bunch of other things, and just generally, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's been a roller coaster of a day, of an afternoon, of an evening, full of emotions and excitement and stuff. Hello there. I am sorry that I cannot pronounce your name because I cannot read Japanese. But hello and welcome. Oh man, name's Lampy Lamp Devil. I am a lamp devil VTuber. Look, I light up. I light up. Like that. I'm not quite sure what just happened here. Something rotated when I didn't expect it to. Yes, oh, that's some good emote usage right there, Haseo. That's some good emote usage. Anyway, I have managed to get myself all worked up and nervous. Like, just... Okay, I probably need to start from the start here. For one thing, I had to set up a whole new set of scenes so I could do the actual art stuff properly. So like I don't expose my entire desktop and just show the VRoid Studio and the Clip Studio Paint. So I think I've got that working. I tested it. I think it'll be all right. But it might very well break. It might very well break. And another thing, right before I went live, I got into an argument with someone on Discord. It's like, great. My pulse is already racing a little bit. Conflict. Oopsie doodle. So, anyway, I just have to let that go. Just... let that get out of my system here. Discord on the Discord. It's Panic at the Panic or Disco at the Disco. It's Discord on the Discord. Anyway, yes. It will pass. It will go. Arzui, hello. Oh, and you are the star of the hour. Arzui is the lovely person who just finished up the live 2D model that I commissioned. I'm not ready to show it off to everybody just yet. Give me a few days. Give me a few days to at least clutch together a little video going, hey you, I got a model, come see me. But yeah. It's very pretty. It's very cute. It's very fun. I love it. I am absolutely enamored with it, and I spent like about an hour and a half just making faces at myself in VTuber Studio. So yes, but tonight, well, look, this model I made for myself here, it's still a pretty good one in the grand scheme of things, and I'm still pretty pleased with it. So my goal here really tonight is I'm gonna keep on with the VTuber Studioing, VRoid. Words, they mean things, and I gotta use the right ones, Christ. But yes, with the VRoiding, I should probably just pop on over and start trying to figure out the work that I'm going to do, because I started doing this in the sense of like I'm going to learn in the process, hopefully, and we're going to see what I end up learning and what I don't end up learning. I'm proud of how far I've come, and I have some interesting skills that I've learned along the way, and I think that I have some stuff I can teach as I go, and it might be interesting to watch. But also, I'm still a little bit bad at this too, so let's actually get going. Let's actually get started and see if everything lines up right. There we go. So let's get over it. I called this scene Arty Farty. Alright, so here we go. Here, we have what I've done so far on a model for my friend Bonito Nekogata. And let's see if this actually works too. Live test. Yes, and it switches to Clip Studio Paint immediately. That's like the eye texture I made. Let me get the actual image of him for reference. We'll just keep it here in Clip Studio Paint. So, you could tell that there's a little bit of a difference going on here, and that I need to rework some of the hair shape to be more spiky, less rounded shaped. Uh-oh, Bonito. Uh-oh, I'm being watched. Oh my gosh, it's like... I'm actually absolutely fascinated by the fact that everybody is so enthusiastic to see this. I don't know. Is it the Catboy effect? It's because there's a Catboy, isn't there? Everybody wants to see Catboy. But yes. And hey, Ren! Hey, Gloria! Hello. Oh, yeah. But, I think I've got the chat down here as well, and all it's really blocking is, like, presets, mostly, which are not super important. I don't usually use bottom ones for this stuff, and if I need to get it out of the way, I can just briefly hide the chat. So, we should be good for the purposes of illustrating what's going on. But yeah, getting Bonito's hair to be this, somewhat accurate as it is was an achievement. Because this was one of my first efforts in editing the pre-existing hairs, and it's a lot of just, there's extra layers upon extra layers, and they conflict with each other really badly. I'm actually going to show you to the best of my ability here, what the trouble really is. I'm gonna go in at the hairstyle, and I suspect that I'm going to have some textures that will be doing what. All right, here we go. There, I'll demonstrate with that one here. I've got a bunch of, some of these have highlights, some of these don't. Like, you can't, there's a little blue splorch here, right? Technically I could move that back and forth. And, like, move the offset and we have, oh, there's a blue shading splorch. But, on the other hand, it's really, really hard to get the splorches to align. I'm going to have to probably go in manually and repaint every splorch just to get something that resembles Bonito's shading here. Because I really want to reproduce that because I think that really makes it look more striking. And there's a part of me that is tempted to just like slap a matte cap on it, but like, no. That's lazy. Yeah, we got the front and we got the back, and I think did I give him what's on the side? Oh yeah, I gave him a tail. He has a hair tail, which I'm gonna have to affix later, and I might actually show you guys. Well, no, I can't show you guys the tool that I found to do it because it involves using a web browser and have to add that to the scene. But there are ways to like attach a tail. But we're not concerned about that yet. He's not exported. He's not moving yet. So, yes, like for those of you that aren't as familiar with the way the VRoid Studio does its stuff, let's move him to the front here. Take him into the camera. Make my computer chug and groan and grind a little bit. Keep him blinking. Alright. We're going to turn a little bit of anti-aliasing on just so he looks a little bit better. And alright, so poses and animations. And so here we go. As you can see, the tail is not really attached to the body. It's attached to the head. You have to go in manually after you've exported it and fixed it. Hello, Bentai! Hello! Yes, anyway. That's enough showing off Bonito's swishy tail. We'll fix it later. We'll fix it in post. It is a problem for later. Like, today's plan was to do something about the ears. Like, further plans will probably involve frigging around with hair shape and getting a better overall shape going on. But I'm pretty pleased with the general look of his face, shading. I might want to go in and manually... I think I painted these eye bags directly in VRoid Studio as opposed to taking into Clip Studio Paint as a kind of a placeholder proof of concept. Also, actually, there's one tweak that I want to check here. Bonito's eyebrows go under... Okay, his eyebrows go under his hair. I'm going to have to redo his eyebrows so that they actually have a black outline. We could fix that up right now, probably, actually. But, and in the process, show you some fun stuff. So, eyebrows. One thing that I learned that you can do with eyebrows in this is, like, the eyebrows are an object that actually sits on the face. They're not, like, a part of the face. They're above it. So, let's see. Was it rotate, position, rotate? Eyebrows, position, rotate. No, that's not quite it. There might be other further options. Here. No. Oh, yes. Eyebrows, position Z. Which, if I put, like, a 3 in there... No, not 12. That's going to be... They can move forward through... Let's see. 5? There we go. You can have the eyebrows just hovering. Just hovering if you've got a character whose design requires that the eyebrows show up over the hair. This, however, looks wrong. So we're just going to undo that and put them back on the face. Which seems reasonable. Yes, and there actually technically is a Band-Aid preset for the face, but I'm actually going to want to have to draw the Band-Aid in. And I'm going to have to draw it in with reflection to the jaw here. I'm keeping them flat shaded for now. I might go in and try to get some cell shading going. He has some of that going on, a little bit. He's pretty flat shaded for the most part, which is frankly easy on me. But yeah. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Is it Renpona and Mill? Both of you? I think the both of you might have, well, given the tool that, the scene switcher, the advanced scene switcher with the macro option, where every time you switch to a program, it'll bring it forward in your OBS. And it's like, oh man, I love it, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I love it. So, okay. All right, let's see if I can improve the eyebrow situation then. All right, I'm gonna export these. Okay. I have to save them. You can't see the folders that I'm navigating through, which frankly, I'm okay with that. And I'm also going to export the guide for eyebrows. Floating eyebrows look weird. You don't know if there's a way to render it in front instead. Yeah. It's like, it's the kind of thing where some people will use a VRoid model purposely created to be kind of flat shaded, and otherwise just well, just to give it a more 2D look, even though it's 3D. So they give you the option to do weird things like that with the eyebrows is kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. All right, so now we've got some eyebrows. And get some guide brows. All right, probably not gonna need that all that badly. Like you can, I copied the guide in and I pasted it over and I reduced the transparency just to make sure I've got the right idea. These are awful fuzzy. These are unusually soft and fuzzy for something that's so flat shaded. I think I'm gonna have to unfuzzy these. I think I was using, these are also placeholder eyebrows, technically speaking. All right. Let's see. Me, as a very lazy person, let's see what we can do here. So, invert the selection. Let's grab some Bonito colors here. The color of his eyebrows, generally the darker blue being used as part of the hair. Well, the picture's not using quite the same hair tendency as this, so all right, we're gonna just use the primary blue for the eyebrows then, and use layer styles to add outlines. It's like that sounds like a great plan. I'm not quite sure how to go about doing that. It's like correction layer folder. It's like the ultimate lazy is that. Like I've only got so much Clip Studio Paint skill as well. A lot of what I'm doing, I've learned it as I go. So, also if there's anything that you want to look at and I'm actually blocking it, like do let me know. And actually, I think the way my phone is positioned, and I've gotten way out of alignment. I'm going to turn myself a little bit this way here. There we go. So I'm not facing in a weird direction while I do the work. Also, I'm going to mute for a second because I have like a half-eaten bowl of chopped salad, and I'm really still kind of hungry. One moment. Oh man, that's some realistic chewing tracking, that is. The mouth goes open and go, Okay. Oh! That's interesting. I resized this by accident. Alright, let's get that the proper size again. Thanks, OBS. Yeah. And the tail will flicker more wildly the more CPU stuff using stuff I have running. For whatever reason, the way I've set the tail up is like some kind of reverse gravity attachment nonsense. Like, I probably actually made this tail the wrong way initially. I don't know. But it turned out when I attached it and I tried it out that it wiggles on its own. I went, oh, that's awesome! So I kept it that way. And all the tails that I put on things now are basically just a variation or an expansion on this tail I've given myself, which I made ages ago. And I haven't really updated the textures on it because I can't be arsed, really. It's like, okay, one more moment here. I'm hungry. I'm very hungry. Okay, so... Alright, let's get rid of the grids here so we can see how that's going. And that is very fuzzy. Can I do anything with the selection? That's generally a bit garbage looking. Alright, if I expand that by a little bit then. Am I gonna have to actually go in here and manually touch this up? I'm gonna have to go in here and manually touch this up, aren't I? Alright, well, let's just fill in some blanks that I can then manually touch up. Alright. And in an effort to save myself something resembling time... Okay. I'm going to add a... I rely very heavily on the symmetrical ruler when doing stuff here. Because, honestly, I'm lazy. I want things to are supposed to be symmetrical to be symmetrical. And I'm like, can I get away with doing this with the point to point? And not having to get the tablet out all the way here. This might actually be... I might be able to. How is my curve set up? Or do I want the continuous curve with the settings to have, well... Yeah, I've already got a continuous curve set up to thin itself out further there. 8 is probably too thin. 5... I think that's about the level of thickness we're going for. We'll have to give that a shot. Alright. Alright, so... Let's see if this gives us decent looking eyebrows or if I just suck. This is kind of actually why I was feeling a little nervous about when I thought about it more. And I saw all the enthusiasm on Twitter. Is because... Really? This is just revealing to you guys that actually I'm not very good at things. I'm actually a little bad at some things. And these are my techniques, and they're a bit bad too. But, well, so it goes, right? So it goes. I think I'm gonna actually try the thing where... Alright. We'll do one loop, one side, and then we'll do the other side. Actually, no. Alright. Okay. We curve it in this way. As a pro author of letting me use hunt and peck to write doesn't change the results, true. Like, I have a tablet, and I could do it with a tablet, but I find that to some degree, I get a bit better control using the tools like this. Alright. And I can just clean that up a little bit with the eraser, I think. So there we go. It's the kind of thing that is a little sloppy at first glance, but may look okay when applied to the model, or it may look really terrible. It's really hard to say at this point. We have a bit of blue overflow here that I think doesn't look good, so I'm going to get rid of that. Like, again, this is stuff that I could be doing with my tablet, and I'll probably get that out at some point. But... are we... a little bit of blue in the tip here, and a little bit of blue in the tip there. Let's tidy up this bit. Just a little. And I can go in and make further changes to this later if I want to adjust it. So, alright. There. Okay, so we've got some eyebrows. I'm going to save these as a pseudo format files. I have a bonito eyebrow. I'm going to export this as a PNG and load it back on in. Save that. Since been, bring it on over. Alright, now let's see if this makes things better or... Oh wait, no, I forgot to save this... Okay. I forgot to take the grid off, because I always forget to take the grid off when I'm doing these things. Alright. There. Alright. Yes, I want to replace that. Alright. Import. Alright. And that's... If you get in really close, you can tell it's a little bit jank. But if you're far enough away, I feel like it kind of works. I'm almost tempted to actually move the eyebrows themselves further apart. Just to... Having the one sticking out a little bit there while it's underneath the bang looks kind of funny. I think I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that. I think I'm gonna leave that because overall that actually goes pretty well, I think. I've more or less nailed the line thickness going on. So that actually gives me an indication too that the line thickness I want is 5. Because I'm going to be using that for the ears next, so yeah. But yeah, just 2. Alright, we're going to overwrite those brows. Alright. Using basic brows, I have to make new brows entirely. Alright, I'm going to indicate that those are bonito brows. Boom. Yeah, we're going to go back to the animation demo and stuff. Maybe have them stop posing. Hang in there. Turn yourself back around. And I think I've already did a little bit messing with the expressions. So there's his smile. There's what his smile will look like. Eyebrows move up, stay where they are. Sad. Eyebrows flex upwards. Angry. Eyebrows come in. That's actually pretty good. I really like that. Happy. They come down just like that. And of course, you have the blink and the happy conflicting with each other, but you know, that's a given. You have to kind of build against that when you actually load it in the program. Surprise! Eyebrows go up. Alright, that's pretty good then. I think that works well. Alright. Alright, good. So I think the next step was ears, so we'll do ears next. Let me just give this a little time to load itself on in here. Alright. But I will say I'm very happy for the people that did show up. There was a lot of excitement, it seems, and I think I'm doing something a little novel and new and a little bit interesting, I'd like to think. I don't know. Well, I don't know. YouTube streams feel exciting and new, even though I'm technically doing the same thing I would otherwise be doing anywhere else. But it's on YouTube, so it's different. I'm not quite sure how to fully put that into words here. Alright, so the ears are under the accessories tab here. And they operate kinda... Well, here you go. Here's your texture. And sometimes it shows, there's your texture, there's the guides, there's what it is. That's a messy-ass texture on the whole. I have got to do something about that. My goal is to outline those ears. The inner ear shading needs to actually be defined solidly. And I think I'm going to have to paint that in a solid gray with a fainter gradient here and there. That's not the default shady gradient. So, I think I already saved off the ear textures. Yeah, I already have the ear textures and the ear guides, so let's go to Clip Studio. Eyebrows are good, so we can close those here. Don't need those. So let's CAD your texture. And the guide, so I don't exceed my boundaries. Alright. So this seems like another thing that I might be able to do by... I might be able to do it by the freehand trace. I feel like it might be a better choice for me if I do it that way. Just like, like using the point to point. It's like, what kind of a little more firmness on the a little bit less anti-aliasing. Opacity is all the way 5. Close curve by connecting start and end. Well, no, I don't need to do that. All right, let's get a ruler in place. This is 512 by 512, so we need to find right here. I find with the seams on this for these is I have to I have to go a little bit past the actual number that it's supposed to be to get the seam just where it ought to be. But oh well. All right, so back to this. We'll do one curve and then we'll do the other curve. And if I exceed the... Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Why is my mouse not showing up here? Okay, that's why. It's a tiny little plotter that I can't see. I'm old and my vision is bad. Alright, let's see now. No, alright, we don't want gray, we want black. So... Alright. I will... trace... this as best as I can from here to here. The gradient on this is just so smooth and stuff that we'll find out when I'm done if I've actually filled this out properly or not. Okay, that's a little messy up there, but we'll give it another pass if we really find ourselves needing to. All right. So this is going to be proof of concept if that's actually where I want the lines to be. How that's going to look. So first off, let's save my work file before I accidentally lose it. My computer melts down and explodes when we lose everything. So all those bonito ears. Bonito ears, rough. Oh, okay, it's pretty rough. It is pretty rough. And let's see what kind of effect that gives it if I load that in. Oh! Okay, that actually does it, I think. There we go. We can actually see that actually outlines the insides of this reasonably acceptably well. All right. Victory. I wasn't sure how well that was actually going to do it. So, challenge one conquered. Next step of the challenge, repainting those colors to be less fuzzy. Time for tufts. Yeah, the tufts next. Though I want to finish the actual solidifying of the color base here first. Then we'll do tufts. Then we'll deal with tufts because, well, all right. I'm gonna call that good. I'll show you with the tufts. Like, I might have to actually do some example painting right on top of them because, so all right. There we go. I've moved his ears around a fair bit, so things are a little weird. Finding the fur volume that will actually work well with his hair right now is a challenge for some reason. Just regular fur volume I think will do it, but even that is being a little weird right now because of just general resizing and positioning I've done to his ears. Like, these are just like objects that are kind of sprouting out of wherever. I might actually make hair that will be the equivalent of the fur. I might actually draw a flat plane and draw the fur in. I know that's one of the things that you can do to do that on the old style. Like, I might leave it at just that. And we'll paint them in, and we'll call it good. Like, any more it punctures through the solid object that is the ears. But just that much... Well, actually, how does that compare to Bonito? He has a bit more fur in them. Also, the notched ear, I'm not going to be able to give him the notched ear because erasing that will just have an empty, hollow shell of 3D rendered ear. I'm going to give him his little ID tag paint that in with hair. I'm going to have to draw that by hand very carefully and just layer it in there. So, we might do that tonight, but we might not. We'll see. We'll see. Depends on how far along we get. And it's like, some of the trickiness here is that, like, his ears are a little bit flatter. Like, a little more spread out. Like... Alright, that's to make it bigger. Ear shape 3 makes it bigger. Ear shape 1 moves it more to the side, but makes it less pointed. So, this is the best compromise for overall shape that I've been able to find for what his ears look like. So, we're going to roll with that. Anything more accurate is going to require me to actually finally tuck in the blender, I think. So, we'll go on that way. Let me have a quick drink of my water here. Alright, back to this. Not this. Back to this. We need to figure out the inside and the outside of what we're going to be trying to do here. We can put the layer under this. Give it a symmetry ruler in the same place as well, I guess. Which is 256 and then some. There we go. But yeah, this one here seems fine. Seems to line up okay. This seems to line up okay. That seems to line up alright. So, sampling gray color. So it's this gray here and that gray there on the inner. This I'm actually probably going to use my tablet for. I think that seems like a good idea. So we'll do the inside, then we'll do the outside. See if I can make that work. Paint it in G-Pen, I want flat color, so yes. I could probably do something with selecting areas and stuff. That probably would be a smarter choice. But I'm not a smart person. Or at least, I'm smart enough to do things in a dumb fashion. We'll check it later for gaps and inconsistencies. This kind of reminds me, too, of when I made the set of hands for Bentai for the Spud controller. Because I was definitely like, oh man, I have no idea how I'm going to make this look alright. I am completely out of my depth. Is this even going to look okay? But it turns out when you zoom out on something, if you don't have it right all the way up your nose, in your face, if you're not completely buried in it, a lot of those fine issues will not show up. The best they are! Such good hands, Bentai. I'm gonna toot my own horn in that regard because it's like, holy jeez. Like, I managed to recapture the texture of the your model's hands, more or less, and like the color of everything, and just like the nail shape, and just everything. I look at them and I'm go, damn, did I do that? Did I really do that? Apparently I did. But yeah, the miracle of zooming out, it covers a multitude of sins. It really does. There. I've got whatever setting on my G pen here to like slow my brush strokes so that it's stabilized. So that seems to have been going well. Appreciate that. Alright, we're gonna do, actually, can I copy it there? Okay, cannot hold my stylus in my mouth while I'm streaming. That's a stupid idea. Alright, we're gonna... Can I just, like, duplicate? Alright, yes, good. Duplicating the layer. Alright, that means actually if I was to reverse this... Reverse that again. Undo. Okay. Let's try... Just to be extra sure I don't go entirely outside the lines here. There we are. I noticed the gray is a little bit bluish purplish, which is interesting. I really love the colors used on Bonito's model. I really love the overall style he's got going. Like, I think I remember him mentioning, he's like, oh, the way my model looks, I think people won't like it as much, or it's not a popular style of model. And yeah, it's not your regular old cutie pie ikemen kind of guy, but he's a scrappy little fella. He's a cute little boy. He's definitely the kind of dude that you would find working down at the convenience store. He's him. He's perfect. He's perfect. He's absolutely perfect. And color theory is definitely tricky. Lord knows that it took me a while to actually arrive at satisfactory, like, color set for my own model. Like, that wasn't just, like, garish and clashing. Like... And I've had to kind of simplify down a lot for a lot of things. Okay. Now, we also want to paint the backs of the ears, and then I will do some nice shading. Actually, can I use a bigger brush to get this done a little faster? Yes, I can. Good. Good times, good feelings. I've definitely picked an interesting playlist for tonight. I don't know. I grabbed the first thing on my Spotify that was from the various Stream Beats collections that wasn't one of my actual playlists. Because I just want generic noise to stream by and make stuff by. I feel like whatever's happening here is bad? I don't know. These things are technically not overlapping. Yeah, the way some of the textures for VRoid stuff are laid out are definitely not as efficient as they could be. There are options to efficient them down, but, well, I've never noticed them making that big of a difference in my performance. They're probably more valuable if you're converting to, like, VR chat or whatever. But you want to keep every texture available to you so you can do Unity edits and stuff in the end. Alright, so there's our flat colors. Alright, let's save this. Remove that. We're going to... Bonito's ears unshaded. Alright. Alright. Alright, so there's definitely a spot in the joining here where it's a little bit wonky, but I might be able to actually just manually correct that. We're gonna hold Alt to sample a particular color. We're gonna check the brush width here down a tad. We're gonna apply symmetry, and it's like, apparently there's an ear seam right in here? Apparently? What the devil? Like, sometimes VRoid's just gonna do that to you, I guess. I was like, what are the base bits? How is this even working? How very, very odd. Okay, I need to fill in more of the actual gap spots here. Okay. Well, that's easy enough. That's an easy enough problem to solve. But otherwise, I think... click Studio Paint. That compared to... that... yeah, it works. Yeah, I think the problem is that despite the fact that I don't have the whole thing filled in, and it's like you need to actually fill more of this in. You need to fill it in all the way to the edge, apparently, which is a choice, I suppose. All right, 20 was the level of the brush I had. Back at it then. Back at it. Let's paint in what we can get away with here. And I'll, once again, just fill paint in the rest of the stuff as we go. Yeah. Get the tips. The additional bits here. Overflow the edge here. Just like that, just like that. I also suspect this means that both of the sides of this are a little bit more different than you'd expect. Alright, let's just overpaint that all as best as we can here. There. We'll see if that improves it, and hopefully that'll give me a basis to start, like, painting over and getting that where it needs to be. Alright. Save the duplicate as a PNG. There. There. But yeah, some of my motivation for doing this as a stream on YouTube as well is like, well, since the VOD is automatically saved, if anybody wants to be like, oh, how do I go about doing these particular things? It's like, I can timestamp for various stuff that I accomplished. Alright, that seems to work a little bit better. Backs of the ears seem fine. If there's anything funky going on, it's just a matter of, like, texture overlap, I think. We're really quite good in here. Now for a quick test of the inner ears here. We're gonna add a new layer on top just to give me some space to screw around. We're gonna use an obnoxious ass color. Alright, if I want to shade the inner ear, let's make that a little smaller here, but if I want to shade the inner ear, alright, it's that intersection right there that I'd want. Great. We can make that work. It mirrors itself. Alright, so new layer. And we're going to layer settings, clip that to the layer below. Now, let's see. We have the other gray over here. Now, let's see what I'm capable of doing is like with the... actually, so... yeah. Something like that. I am going to want to mirror that again. Alright. Yay! Symmetry ruler. How I love you so. You save me from so many problems. Alright. Big ol' brush. Render it up from this way. Like that. And we can use a similar sort of... use the eraser to form the shape better. Old habits learned in old ways. Let's see how that looks. Right, ears. Inner ears. Let's go, let's go. Okay, so that needs to be a little thicker. You can see it on the very inner bit of the inner ears. Cool, we're on the right track. It's just not enough. We need to go more. We need to go more. I can go more. Maybe not that much more. We can erase. Let's see if that gets us there. It's like, I will often just frequently save over the same PNG and reload it so I don't have, like... Look, you can't do your fine work within VRoid Studio directly. Okay, I need to make that thicker this way then. But, we're on the right track. We're on the right track to looking quite a lot better. Alright. Alright. Yeah, we got this. Like that. Like that. Let's see what that gets us. Get thicker inner ears. And import that on in. Almost, almost. I find it, well, actually, we don't want to overdo it with how the shading looks. If it, in the shell of the ear, I feel like I want a tiny bit more. I want a tiny bit more, but not much more than what we got. We're almost there. We almost got it. Just about correct. Let's see if we can get that there. That might be too thick, so we're going to find out how it's going to look. Well, this inner ear is too thick. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. And I am so pleased with this setup. Yeah, okay. So the base is good. We need to narrow the tip down, and that'll be perfectly the way I want it. Great, 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 great. We're almost there. We've almost reached it. We've almost reached the peak. The peak of the cute little Catboy ears. Let's... smooth it down from this way. It's almost like it's a half and half at this point. Jeez. Interesting. We're gonna save that as that way. We're gonna delete layer 1. We're gonna import that. There. So how's that? How's that looking? I think I'm going to do a little bit of gradient. Actually, do his ears have any gradient shading, or is it entirely flat? They are pretty much entirely flat. But... so maybe leaving them that way is the best bet. But there you go. That's a much better color. That is much better than what we started with, I think. That is what we call an improvement. Nice. Good. I feel pleased with that. I actually am content to leave the inner ear precisely as it is. That's probably about as big as I can get them without having everything look super weird. So we're just gonna leave them that way. Gonna leave it at that. Right. Great, now his ears match the general style of his hair. So we'll save that off. And I don't want to take on the challenge of a coat just yet, even though I said we'll probably work on a jacket. Like, you can see here, this is a placeholder jacket. This is a free asset I picked up. Just like, he needs to have something to wear because the general undershirt that I mocked together isn't that great. I need to put together some proper pants. Surely I think I can find a pants asset somewhere that would do the job, but I haven't had a lot of luck in that regard. It's like he has jeans that are a little bit battered. It's pretty simple. They're not a major part of his design. Like, you can see here, zooming out a little, it's like this is I could render the part of this coat out of the hoodie template, I believe. It would have the baggy sleeves, it would have the cuffs, it would have the technically the kind of wrinkly shape. Draw that on, trim one a little bit shorter, whatever, or maybe have it more even. Draw that on the zipper. I have a zipper brush. That'd allow me the opportunity, or I can try to freehand it with just zigzags. Because it really is just zigzaggy. Although you can tell these are actual brush strokes by someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. I know that I want to try for the fuzz, but painting the fuzz in place won't look good. And trying to render thick fuzz out of hair feels like it's just asking for problems as well. So it might just have to be a sweater design without the fuzz, and we'll have the two overlapping t-shirts built as one t-shirt. Really. I could also take a little bit of time to reproduce the sneakers as a relatively easy thing to continue with. But he's a pretty simple design overall. I think I'm gonna tackle. Let's get his face bandage. Let's get his overall upper face head area a little bit more in shape. Let's get him a little bit back to where he perhaps ought to be. And actually, so let's see. So there's his various mouth shapes for various talking. I tweaked them so that they weren't just the basic masculine ones, but I had a little bit of smallness so they don't oversize. I'm going to have to do a little bit of exporting him and running him through his paces to make sure that he works well with face tracking. I know that Bonito's got an iPhone, so I'm going to give him the hand tool blend shape, so he'll have like tracking similar to mine. It will work a little differently because the base shapes are a bit different, but we'll see. Keep one thing is, if you pick an expression in the expression editor and you go about your business, it's like it'll keep it there for you. So cheeks. So under face paint. So I already gave him his under eye circles are face paint. I feel like I should go in and make his under eye circles a bit less that. But also, his under eye circles are kind of like that to begin with, in all honesty. He's like, he's a tired boy, living hard. Actually, I did think of something I want to do. His mouth's open. I should actually repaint his mouth color while I'm thinking of it. Tongue! Yes. Tongue and gums and stuff. And I think that's the particular... Well, the particular shades here are honestly very vague, and I'm going to have to just go off of them, I believe. Copy the hex code so we can just, like, take that in there. Hold still while I repaint your mouth cavity, Bonito. Yeah, we don't want it shaded, we want it flat. This is actually the kind of change that I think I might just do straight out on the... in the program. And the rest of this is, like, go for even darker, I would presume. Alright. Alright, so... Trying to figure out which part of this is actually the color that I'm looking for and thinking about. Yeah, I don't want the soft shading. I want a pretty solid tongue. I might actually not use the exact colors and just like use that brighter tongue color right over here. Smooth that out. And that looks like a pretty smooth color overall. For that. Undo my undo here. I've never actually fully edited a tongue, but I've seen people doing tongue editing, and I think yeah, that's better. That is just the slightest bit better. Gonna tiniest little bit of that here. A little bit of darker. Not quite like that. Alright. And lower the layer opacity some. No. A little bit less. That just looks kind of gross on the tongue. Alright. Speaking of tongues, you're keenly aware of how much you stick out your tongue on stream. You might need to model a better tongue next, Gloria. Yeah, you got a slightly bright red mouth texture for Gloria, and I think it works for her. But yeah, like, your mouth opens, you see the tongue. Interestingly, I've noticed that, trying out my Live 2D was really, really interesting. Because, yeah, we're not... No shade in the back of the tongue. Like... Honestly, VRoid tongues aren't very, very, very tonguey in the grand scheme of these things. It's alright. There's your mouth. We're good. Save as new item. But, alright, so, VTuber Studio, why are these all named the same thing? God. But VTuber Studio, for using, 3D stuff, I'm rapidly running out of steam. I got myself through today with a ton of coffee. Alright. VTuber Studio's tracking needs to be configured in some ways that, like, mouth accuracy and all that, a live 2D model will have the mouth open improperly but when used with a VRoid model, it actually generally works okay. It compensates for the XY and the mouth open problems when I scooch my mouth. Like, like, this still works fine. It always has worked fine in VRoid Studio. But whenever I use my Live 2D and scooch my mouth to one side, it tries to open my mouth at the same time, too. I think it's that the model is the Live 2D is capable of having those parameters pass at once, but you're not able to pass the same shapes on a 3D model, and that might be where the problem is, where the collision is. But yeah, so yeah, that's enough fussing with that. Close your mouth again. We're good. Thank you. So his under eye circles and his mouth inside, his lips, his cheeks. Well, cheeks are specifically for blush. Alright, let's edit his face paint so that his face paint also includes his bandage. So we're gonna use... Alright. Rename this, we know what it is. Eye bags. Ba-dum-bum. You should put a tongue piercing on, go punk and goggle in a naughty face like the olden days when my camera would auto roll your eyes into your head. Well, if you saw, you saw, I think I posted the example of my Live 2D let me stick my tongue out, but only if I'm going full on, like, my VRoid is a little more sensitive, at least lets me go like, But my Live 2D is much more particular about precisely how much I need to be doing in order to actually make tongue happen. You'll see. I think, God, this week has gone so fast, and I both have and have not accomplished things that I wanted to do. I got so much to work on. I got so many things to work on. Oh my God, okay, I'm gonna stretch here. Oh, God. Man. I should not needlessly stress myself out, because these are all fun things, and if there's a timeline on them, then, well, I'm not really responsible. Alright, so let's block ourselves out. Block ourselves out of shape here. Give it a size 8 pen. The eye bags layer, we're gonna call this... bandage. We want something that will be... We're just gonna draw right on the model to get us something that should fit the positioning. So that is one part. Now, how is this formatted? It's going to look a little more curvy and a little less straight here because it's like, alright, so... Yeah, it intersects pretty close to his mouth, actually. So... Don't actually want that there. Alright, let's use this then as the guideline for... how the bandage should overlap. Not like that. That's weird as hell. I might have to actually deactivate some hair to get this done. We'll have to see. Just to make sure it's showing up all right. What a mess. What a mess. All right. All right. Actually, no. Let's redo what I've done. We'll leave it there as scrap. I'm gonna save that as a new item. I think having actual Haiga would be a hilarious throwback to pre-Perfect Sync Gloria. It's like, look, they can't ban you for Haiga, I'm pretty sure, as long as it's not within context. Like, as long as there's no skin, booty, or boobs, and you're not moaning too hard, you can go as much as you want. Like, maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. It's up to you. Someone somewhere will probably get mad and try to report you. But it feels, you know, feels a little more loosey-goosey and free. Alright, I'm gonna save my work here so I just don't lose what I've done. Yeah, a lot of what I've started doing with the model was very much just trying to replicate things that are in the actual image. Have I been successful? No, not necessarily. But do I get closer to successful every time? Yeah, I think I do. Alright, hairstyle. We're gonna go to the front of the hair. We're gonna edit it. We are going to hide Hide that hair. Oh, if that's not... Actually, you know what? Doing that actually almost gives you... Doing that almost actually gives you combini bonito. I could maybe technically try to render up his pinned back hair here. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Alright, but there we go. That's out of the way so we can work on your damn bandage now. We'll fix it later. We'll fix it later. Back to the face. Back to the face. But yeah, sometimes I miss a bit of the look and the feel of what the old Logitech camera time with Lampy with myself here was too. A little bit. But everything is a different means of performance. Like I think I was saying it a few places in regards to actually firing up a live 2D. It feels very different. It's not necessarily better than what I have here in VC Face, but it feels different in that it's a different kind of performance. This feels a little bit more stiff, but feels stiff but more concrete. Stiff but more controlled and rooted, and I could turn hands on and have tracked hands very easily. With my Live 2D, though, I can bounce around the screen like a cartoon. Live 2D makes you a cartoon. VC Face and VRM models make you into a video game character. That's the difference, I think, with the feel. Oh, so 1 sec. You can use Logitech Cam with VTuber Studio. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I don't have an NVIDIA card that can use that, though. Also, I'm going back for salad. Please enjoy some salad ASMR. I'm so hungry, you guys. My god. Nom nom nom. Excuse me. Look, I spent the last like 2 or 3 days eating leftover pizza and doing weird experimental things with fire noodles. My life needs some vegetable. There's like shredded cabbage and shredded lettuce and shredded carrot. I think there's green onion and probably some other stuff. And it's in a sort of a creamy dressing and like a tiny sprinkle of cheese, and we chopped up some leftover chicken to give it some protein. And it's real satisfying. Shit. You know what would be really good in this? Some green pepper. Some diced green pepper. Oh my god. Nom nom. And in regards to the knee, I think the knee is finally, after 2 weeks, properly on the mend. Thank God. Oh my god. A lot of it, I think, was like some kind of residual swelling. Some of it was some kind of damage and bruising. It's still, honestly, kind of a messed up mess. Alright, let's get back in here. This is not what we want. Okay. We're getting closer to the right idea, I think. Alright. I think I had this like 8. I think I had this at not 280. 8! A nice reasonable number, 8. There. So, okay. Once again, painting on the skin. It really is just to put it in place. Can I get that a little longer? Maybe a little longer. Let's paint it a little longer. Just to see. Alright. I will go into Clip Studio Paint and actually make this look better. Is the theory, is the plan, is the idea, is the hope the font hope in my heart. Trying to figure out what the partway point of this would be. I might like try copying shapes and distorting them to get to what this is supposed to look like. Alright, that needs to be higher. That needs to be all the way up here. Like that. And so it all curves appropriately. We can always, once I've made it, I can also move it around a little bit, but yeah. Do I want that to be as far down as that is there? I don't think so. And gosh, this music is awful intense for whatever it is that I'm doing. This feels weirdly serious for the level of artistry at play here. Brush size 8. Like that. And like this. Like... I would probably want to actually move this bit a little bit over. Alright, but this is enough of a basis to get an idea of something to start. So, more puzzly music. Yes, the needs of the many outweighs the needs of the few. Let's not talk about the outweighs. Oh god, it's like... We'll be getting active soon. They'll be having me going back to the office and I'll have to get more exercise than I normally do. Hopefully my knee won't just give out entirely in the process. But, you know, trying to eat a little better. Trying to get a little strain off the joints, all that good stuff. Let's try to get back into fighting form. All right. And just again to compare. Yeah, that is a start at the very least. I don't know how. I might have to go in and just completely do this and redo this entirely. We're gonna export face bandage. Do I actually have a face guide? I have not downloaded the face guide for this one. I have it probably in some other folder somewhere. Well, we're gonna download for this one. Face guide. Great. Used to be an office worker until you got a busted knee. No, I'm still an office worker with a busted knee. Alright. So... load the face guide. Load the face bandage. Up the guide. Reduce the opacity considerably. Despair for my ability to make this look smooth and reasonable, I guess. But alright. That's just the basis. We're gonna draw on top of this with actual black. Of some sort. I do kind of want to use the my curves here. I get away with regular curves. I think 5 was the line width that I said was the good idea. Was the one I wanted. Let's lighten that up a bit here. All right, and to reference, this bandage is the across. Is the more solid bit. So all right. Let's see. This might be the better way to do it with just like the adjustable curves, and we just join the curves together to make them look a bit less shit. All right, we want from here to here. There, that's actually probably a way better way to lay down some bandage. Now that we have a general idea of the shape we want. Like that. We'll fill it in with white. And of course there is going to be a little bit here, but actually I'm going to use my continuous curve precisely. Because I'm going to use my continuous curve because it actually will give a little bit of a little nice dash effect like that. Yay, I'm extremely smart. And cool and good. And good and cool. It's like... So here... And we're gonna... Not like that. We're gonna... So, this is the straight... Go from here to here. Actually, let's stick it to what we actually have. Let's stick to the lines that we actually made. Yeah, let's just highlight over the stuff that I actually drew in place. Make it look smoother and less wobbly and shit. A little bit plump curve here. Do we want like an inward or a little bit outward? We want a little bit outward, I think. Alright. Actually, I think I'm going to grab my continuous curve again right here. Oh no, right about like this. Alright, let's just fill that in with my own intuition. Yeah! Alright. That seems promising. So, let's just indicate that this here is lines. Color. What kind of color we're looking at is actually just outright white gray. It's like a bluish white. A slightly bluish white. Alright. That's fair, that works. There. Let's go with that then. Actually, can I just expand the selected area by like 2 pixels? There. And we'll just color that all in. G pen 15, 20. Alright, cool. There. And I can highlight that. I can lighten that up considerably, or at least lighten that up some. Even further, even further. Something like this. Something like this. Something like this, maybe. A little bit sloppy. Compare that to... Yeah, the lower bandit should probably actually have the darker shading. The upper one should be considerably lighter like this, but I want to keep a little bit of that near the bends. Let me brush a little smaller here so I'm not giving myself nearly as much trouble. 10? 10's a better size. Yeah, alright. Alright. Well, alright. We're done. Or at least we have a start. Alright, let's save this as face bandage clip studio format. Yeah. Let's export that. Face bandage. All on its own. Let's import that. Did I export that instead of import that? Let's try this again here. I'm just like really bad at this. I think I'm really bad at this. Alright, I didn't load the flat one. I loaded the same texture that I exported. I'm a brain genius, I am. Oh! 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 Hey, that's actually pretty good. Nice! Ah! Hey! Yo! Alright, let's get your hair back on there, Bonito. We're just gonna swap you back to the existing one here. There you go. Here we go. There's our Catboy. Now he's really looking sharp. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yes. Like if you get up close, it's like it's a little funky, but yeah. The 5-point brush seems to be the thickness of line that I'm using for the rest of this. I may go in Unity and change the outline color for the rest of his clothes and his body and stuff. That is a thing you can do, but like, oh shit, yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's good. I'm pleased with that. Look, there, that's nice. Let's save that off. And having said that, I think this is actually not a bad spot to call it. I've accomplished some goals. It's about an hour and a half, which hopefully would make for edifying watching and annotating for later. We did some ears, we did some face, we touched his eyebrows up, and we got him his face bandage. So I think he'll like that. I think he'll like that when it's all said and done. He's coming along real good. He's gonna be doing all kinds of fun dances and posing in all kinds of silly ways, I bet you. It's alright. Alright. Well, with that said, let's head back to chatting here for a little bit. Oh boy. Oh boy, let me get myself actually recentered. Not quite that much. A little bit more this way. Yeah. There. Figure. I'm tired and I'm hungry. I don't want to be at this for too long. I want this to keep this stream relatively brief. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody I can really raid out to that I'm aware of. You have to be friends with people, and you have to know they're on, and I will have to look into the process eventually, I suppose. But oh man, I'm really so glad to have you guys come by. I know if you've enjoyed it and you're watching, you're sitting there, give me a follow, give me a subscribe. Check out my Twitch and check out my Twitter. There's links in the doobly-doo down there. Check out Bonito. I linked to his Twitter and his Twitch, and Bonito is a fun fella. Bonito is fun and funny. One of my favorite small streamers. So it's like I'm doing this kind of as I'm making the model as kind of a not precisely gift. I'm thinking of it as fan art of someone who I admire and think is real cool. That's what I've got going on that way. And it's also kind of a project of, well, let's see what I can do. Let's stretch my skills. And I think I've stretched my skills. I've learned quite a bit so far. I've learned quite a bit so far doing this, and I'm really pleased. I'm just super pleased. And it's only going to get better from here. So, all right. With that being said, thank you all for coming. I will let you go. Gonna be back over on Twitch on Saturday morning as per usual, and we'll see if I have anything fancy ready or not. I don't know. It's like I really want to use that live 2D, but I know that it's like you don't get the opportunity. To go, hey everybody, look at my fancy live 2D model. Very often, you have to hype it. You have to hold on for hype. I gotta make some hype. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for hype. And I hope you guys take care. Au revoir. Et à bientôt. I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.